Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 3 of this Odyssey Esports. We have Infernal Wolves versus Funky Fresh Suns. It's going to be a great matchup, and we're going to see who's going to take the top of the leaderboard at the end
I
of these matches.
I mean, we sure are. I'm really excited to get into this. Not only just to involve and indulge myself in more Odyssey games, but also just to see where this matchup is going to lead us. Because I mean, it is a double round robin, so like the scores could end up being like teams being tied at the end of all of the weeks. But like this is really gonna to separate these two teams because they are both tied, as to my knowledge at least, both having three map wins and one loss. So we're really going to see a lot of talent on the Rift today.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And not knowing too much about these teams at the moment, what is your opinion? What do you think are they going to finish 4-2? Both teams going to finish 4-2, or are we going to see a 5-1?
I mean, okay, like hear me out. So we do have Supbro being out for this first game for Funky Fresh Suns, which I know Supbro kind of a unit in the bot lane. So I think that is going to put them at a bit of a disadvantage, but I think they're going to bring it back, and I think they're going to split the games 1-1. But like enough of that. Let's get into draft, and also, if you would like to introduce yourself to the stream, to the cast, to everyone.
Oh, oh, definitely, for sure, for sure. My apologies. I am BG Smitty, and I am fairly new to casting, but I've been playing the game for a little over 10 years, so my knowledge of this game is through the roof. And I am excited to be here.
Let's go. We'd love to hear that. But like, I mean, let's get into the draft. Put that game knowledge to the test. See if you can really see what's happening here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, starting off, we already see these bands coming through. We see a nice Yumi, Vigar, and J4 band coming out of Infernal Wolves. And on the side of Funky Fresh Suns, we see Ash, Amumu, and Udyr. I like these bands in particular because Amumu right now is a very strong jungle pick. Udyr is a very strong jungle pick, especially with these buffs that are coming through on the AP items. Things like Leandries, Blackfire Sun, things like that. Very, very strong on this Udyr. So I think that's a very smart band coming through on the side of Funky Fresh Suns. And this Vigar is just an amazing pick all around. Doesn't need too terribly much work around it. But again, these AP items, it just made him absurdly strong.
Yeah, I mean, another thing with Odyssey is a lot of everyone is playing comfort picks. There's a lot of team comp C. As you can see, a Swain is just coming through. Where's the Swain gonna go? Mid, support, ADC? I mean, no one knows. Jungle, top lane, who's to say at the moment? But Funky Fresh Sun's going with the Senna, and that could just be their bot lane. Since, I mean, I'm not entirely familiar with the picks of all of the players in this lobby, but I mean, that just might be the bot lane right there.
Yeah, and you are right. There's a strong possibility that is in the bot lane. And what I like about it is that technically the Senna would be the AD carry and the Swain would be the support in this type duo in the bot lane. So I do like this because the Senna is going to be fasting and trying to stack the souls while Swain is going to be farming. And that can really push this bot lane to like hyperscale into the later games. But looking on the side of Infernal Wolves, they're gonna answer this bot lane with a Varus. And I really like this pick because you can either go lethality or you can go on hit. So both of them very well put, it's a very well decision that could come through for this Varus. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the rest of these picks coming through. And the Shyvana for the jungle on Infernal Wolves. Shyvana's just in a strong place. So I'm expecting to see Infernal Wolves just kind of hover around this dragon the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it would make a lot of sense. I do know Shyvana is incredibly strong, especially if you just like let her like just farm in all of the early game. Not really like let her get too active, since she does not spike super early. But I mean, we'll see how it goes because sometimes the games get extremely bloody, either like level 1 or maybe nothing happens for the first 15-16 minutes. So we're just gonna have to figure out who's gonna direct the pace of this game, and the other bands coming through just marking out a little bit more of those comfort picks and mainly just focusing the mid lane, because I do know that mid lane matchup is Anna Gamer Girl and Sinja. So two players that have a lot of games played. So people really should know their picks.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. And I like the ban of the Vex coming through. Vex is just an all-around great ban due to the fact of her ultimate being able to jump into the middle of a team fight and just completely fear the whole entire team. So with that ban altogether, I think that's just a phenomenal ban, especially because the side of Funky Fresh Sons, they really want to engage. They want to go in, and they're gonna be grouped up. So it's one of those things. It's like it kind of it's a good ban, but at the same time, it really could have been beneficial on the side of Infernal Wolves. But now we're seeing the Katarina and the Poppy come through for Infernal Wolves. I don't know how I feel about this Katarina with the whole pick picks that they have on their side, but the Katarina, if able to snowball, can really take over this game.
Yeah, and it definitely might be able to. We're gonna see a Garen to finish off the pick. You know, it's gonna be fighting this Aatrox into the top lane, and I mean Garen, especially in like the more recent times, seeing a lot more play, especially in this more like organized competitive lobbies. Usually you wouldn't have seen that a couple years ago, but I mean, you know, here we are, definitely able to be quite an issue on the side lane, and that was, I think, something that Funky Fresh Suns really needed. They did have a lot of like team fight options that they were, you know, looking for, but this Garen is, you know, gonna find themselves just causing some issues, I would imagine, in the either the top bot lane, just trying to pull some people to their side.
No, and I agree with you, but looking at both of these team comps, Infernal Wolves went for more of a traditional front to back. The Poppy, the Shyvana, and the Aatrox can really be that frontline prowess that can protect this Varus. And the Katarina really just needs to wait for key abilities coming out of Funky Fresh Suns in order to just jump in and just annihilate the entire team with his ultimate. But on the side of Funky Fresh Suns, they started a draft that wanted to do front to back, but then they started going towards this Viego and the Kali that really wanted to do like flanking. So having a Garen and a Swain in the front line, while a Kali and Viego can kind of just lurk on the sides, Infernal Wolves are really going to need to have their wards and know where everybody's at before these team fights start, because if they don't, they can get flanked very easily, and it can turn bloody and not go in their favor extremely quickly.
Yeah, we're just gonna figure out and see what's happening though as we do get into this, and these barriers are going to drop, and it does seem that I don't know if Anna Gamer Girl switched with Kaiduk, because Kaiduk's more comfortable in the mid lane, and I would assume the Akali is going to go there. But it does seem that the mid laner of Monkey Fresh Suns is going to be the ADC, going to fill that role because she's capable of doing so. She's just fine at making that happen, you know, filling for that team, and it's great to see. But yeah, it does seem that nothing too crazy is going to happen. Everyone just standing their ground, hiding in their bush, seeing if anyone else is making a move that they can respond to. But I just don't think that's going to happen in these first couple of minutes.
No, the very defensive play coming out of both teams. I like this. For all teams really, unless you have a very strong level one, things like a Nautilus, a Braum, a Jinx, things anything like that could really snowball level one and want to have that fray of a full 5-on-5 in the beginning. I really like teams just playing defensive, knowing to make sure that no one's coming into the jungle, getting in any type of ward to to see where someone's starting. To me, it's a very smart play, and I like what I'm seeing so far.
I am too, and it seems we're gonna get a lane swap here with Kaida going top lane, at least for these first couple of levels, as Garen and Katarina want to battle each other, and Revenger just wants to stay in the mid lane. So a lot of swaps happening at the moment. And I'm not entirely sure what to expect from all of these.
I don't mind the swaps. I'm just glad that that we're not seeing lane swaps completely, like bot lane to top. That's what I'm glad that I'm not seeing.
Now, I mean, yeah, I think it is something that is we're just gonna have to keep looking at here. I don't know if all of those land swaps would come in. I'm not entirely sure how comfortable everyone is with those, even if they just wanted that. And yeah, I mean, the lore mid matchup, it only makes sense.
It's crazy. At all these years, I still don't know that much about the lore, but I'm gonna take your word on it. And I honestly, I want to take note to these junglers. They are for the side of Funky Fresh Suns. They are actually Viego's pathing bot side, while the Shyvana is pathing top side. So depending on these clears and depending on what they have going on, I like the fact that Funky Fresh Suns is pushing in this wave and they can make it crash and bounce back. By the time the Viego lands his full clear, he could look for a nice gank opportunity at about the 3.5 minute mark.
Yeah, and just especially this early game, I feel like a lot of these champs. Oh, that's some great damage here, especially for that Shyvana who is pathing top. Maybe a chance to go through. But just some good damage out of Spoobert. This lane is, or this wave is just going to be pushing. It's wanting to crash into this tower, and I do believe it's just going to do that. So Kaida playing a little bit more aggressive in that top lane, not really caring too much about keeping the wave in a mid state. But Revenger, you got to be careful. Syndra's here, Thrasher needing to path up just to make sure their Garen is going to be okay. But I mean, besides that, we're not seeing too much match or too much. Oh
No,
my
that was a
God, never
beautiful
mind.
Q3 coming through. And K Duck, I don't think he's gonna be able to get out of this alive. The flash is gonna come through, and the first blood comes through for the Aatrox with a nice solo bolo in the top lane.
Yeah, the flash though, out of Kaiduk, also used as a massive cooldown for really nothing. You got no value out of that, but this fight could take place and go really bad here for Revenger, but just gonna spin out of there.
Yeah, not too much happening. That was a nice little 2v2 defensive play coming out from the junglers in the mid lane. But Kai Duck really overstepping and having to burn his TP, but he's trying to go back in and having this item advantage on this Aatrox. So he's gonna try and impress it while he can, but I don't think it's smart. I think this Aatrox right now in the early game just kind of outpowers the Akali altogether.
Yeah, I too. I mean, besides that first blood going through, it was a solo bolo, as you stated, but I mean, we saw, that scuffle there towards mid, but other than that, I mean, this bot lane is looking pretty chill. There's just a lot of sustain on the map between all of these champs kits, and I'm curious to see like what's gonna happen with that, especially out of Kaiduk. Akali much preferring to be an assassin, not really too keen on attacking targets with a lot of HP. So I'm just kind of excited to see how everyone itemizes into this game and what happens. The dragon's gonna go up at 5 minutes now, and we're not seeing too much around neutral camps. We see those pings to go down just to make the teams like aware to see what's happening. But that's a lot of damage there onto Wajuka.
Yeah, and I wanna bring to light of what you were talking about. But hold on one second, because we see the Shyvana. They know where the Shyvana is at. Everyone is collapsing on it. A nice stun comes through. The slow comes through from the center, but the flash comes out from the Shyvana. But the burn's gonna be able to come through, and that's gonna be a nice kill going over to Revenger, making this a nice 1-to-1 already in this game. And it does look like they're gonna be able to secure this first dragon uncontested because of this.
Yeah, no, this first dragon is going to go down. It doesn't really seem that anyone is going to try to contest it, and it makes a lot of sense. Bacon going down, I mean, that's your jungler there, and you really don't want to recontest. Your bot jungle is pretty much just clear. Even if you try and go for the dragon, you have nothing of value to do there in the bot side. So it just makes sense. Just give it up. You still have that other neutral objective, the grubs just spawning now, and I mean, with how your team kind of wants to play, it would be extremely nice to get those grubs online, get some more turret damage, see if you can get those plates into the early game and, just see what happens.
Exactly. So I even though Grubs are extremely strong right now, I don't think Grubs is the best on either side for for these teams. Not or let me say a priority. They're not the biggest priority for either side of these teams. The Shyvana really wants to stack these dragons just because it gives the resistance from her passive. But then on the side of Funky Fresh Suns, also having dragon buffs helps them in the long run. The Grubs, neither side of these teams really have that let me burst down these towers potential. And until honestly, really the later stage of the game, but really either team could have the same exact power when it comes to taking towers. and sieging.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be super nice, especially, I mean, wow, just other than saying that, it's Kaidok is getting absolutely abused there in the top lane by this Aatrox, and it does make sense. I do believe Aatrox just has a pretty favorable matchup into this Akali. Um, and it's just kind of tough. You need to play extremely safe, but I mean, still the farm between these two is pretty even. But I mean, all of these, I mean, everyone is just playing extremely like safe. Yeah, there's 2 kills in the map, but we're 7 minutes in. For Odyssey, this is people having an idea they want to play reserved, and it's absolutely showing.
Exactly, and that was actually a really nice stun coming out of this poppy onto the center. I think if they actually would have really turned and focused that attention, they really been able to get it. But here comes the Akali jumping in, and then the Aatrox is gonna ult, but it's not gonna be enough. And Akali's gonna be able to get that solo on the top side, but then on the bot side, they're gonna be able to trade this 2v2, and the center's gonna be able to secure that kill. It's a nice cross map play on both sides, but here comes the Shyvana. All comes out of the Swain. Swain's trying to run away. He's going to be slowing him, but the Senate focusing on this Varus, I don't think it's going to be enough. He needs to try and focus onto this Shyvana, and they are going to be able to get that kill. And the ultimate comes through for Pot of Greed, and he's going to be able to secure that kill, and that's going to be a 3-for-0 for the side of Funky Fresh Suns.
Yeah, absolutely. Extremely well played from the bot lane there. Pot of Greed and Anna Gamer Girl both popping off individually. That's going to be pretty brutal, though. I mean, this Varus and Poppy, you really cannot start losing, at least not early, to the Senna the Swain. I mean, they want to scale. They're happy to play slow. They're happy to scale, get those souls, and start building up those items, and become a little bit more useful later. But like this Varus Poppy going down early to that is gonna be pretty brutal to get back into the game. But still, we're back into this top lane Spoobert chunking Kaidug, and you just gotta be super careful. But I mean, what can you really do? The flash goes through from both the top laners, but nothing is found. But I mean, you have this wave. I don't think Spoobert really cares. I think going for this dive is absolutely what this Aatrox is going to do, and it does pay off. The kill goes through, taking some turret shots, going down to a mere 100-ish HP. But I mean, you're still okay. You got to back in real fast. Your wave is pushing. You're in a good state.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful from the Aatrox. He saw his opportunity. He knew that the jungle was bot side. Even though he was pathing top side, he knew he had the opportunity to go for that dive, and he knew the limits of his champion, being able to secure that dive, getting the solo kill, and then still being able to get the back off, and all of that CS going to waste on the side of Funky Fresh Suns.
Okay, I have no idea what you just said for the past like 15 seconds. My cat was needing to get out of my room. But I mean, here we are into this jungle. Thrasher, maybe a bit of an overstep. Gonna use that blast cone to get on out of there. But I mean, still found some investigative journalism research out there on these two members. Just noting down their positions. But yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good here for Funky Fresh Suns, especially down in this bot lane. You're up on... Actually, the CS is extremely even. But, I mean, you're scaling quite a bit better. Getting the Senna online is going to be extremely important.
I mean, the Senna is kind of already online, especially with this Echoes of Helia. These heals that are going to be coming out from the Senna is already going to be kind of strong. The shielding as well is going to be kind of strong. But knowing or noticing that the Funky Fresh Suns are already posturing around this second Drake for this Ocean Drake, it kind of tells me that they're going to prioritize Drake stacking over the grubs. But I still don't think that they should give over 6 grubs to the side of Infernal Wolves.
No, I don't think that would be the smartest idea. They at least need to, fight, hopefully get maybe 2 or 3, and ideally, but Kaidok, I mean, you just gotta be so careful here. This Aatrox does not care about anything, and Ajuga getting a little
But they're
bit...
going to be able to get the
Oh,
Poppy.
yeah. This Poppy is not gonna be living for much longer, and this Varus isn't gonna look great. That's a great pull out of the Swain, and just a great follow-up there. That's just not what you want to see. The Senna now having a bounty. It makes a lot of sense in this top lane. Spoober, you need to keep Infernal Suns into this game. And it does seem like they're doing just that.
Exactly. This is absolutely phenomenal for this Aatrox. The Aatrox already has a phenomenal lead. He's already going to be this split pushing demon that he was expected to be in the later stages, but he's already getting to that point now, and we're only 12 minutes into the game. Having this 3-1 lead and having all the kills on the side of Infernal Wolves, he needs to figure out about pushing his wave and starting to group so that he can take his lead that he has and start giving it to the rest of the team so they can really get Infernal Wolves online.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough time, right? Because, I mean, having this Aatrox in the side lane is going to be extremely important, but to get the rest of your team online, I mean, it doesn't look, at least not for the time being, like they're going to be able to win a team fight with everyone losing their lane. I mean, this cat is farming quite well, but it's still tied with the Garen, and it's going to be pretty rough. I mean, some plates to go down, I mean, that's going to help, but it does seem that this Varus is going to be pushed off as this wave drops. The Senna's going to be back here, and it's, you know, a lot of responsibility up in there on Spoober in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's playing a phenomenal match. He's doing exactly what he needs to do for the time being. And while the bot lane was trying to secure some plates, the rest of Infernal Wolves was able to secure the rest of these 6 grubs. So this is a huge power spike for Infernal Wolves. The Aatrox is already going to be strong in the solo lane, being able to split push, being able to bring multiple players to him just to kill him. The rest of Infernal Wolves is going to be able to use that to their advantage by taking some of these towers with the pushing power of all 6 grubs and these voidlings.
Yeah, no, we're seeing here the scrubs are going to be up, and, you know, actually,
No,
not right
that's
now.
the
They all
Herald.
went down. The Herald, my apologies, but yeah, the Herald's going to be up there. I mean, the neutral top objective has not really been in the cards right now for Funky Fresh Suns, but I mean, it might come up here soon, and you gotta watch out, Kaiduk. It is just not your top lane matchup. You need to keep yourself safe, hang around that turret, don't let it tell you otherwise. But, I mean, just look at this bot side jungle. You just see Viego just hanging out there. It does seem that they might want to fight for these Raptors a little bit. I mean, you do get connected, you do get pushed off a little bit, but it does not seem that they're gonna risk their lives for the Raptors, as that bot lane is not to be seen. So it is a smart call from the jungle and the mid laner of Funky Fresh Suns to chill a little bit.
So we see Funky Fresh Sun starting off this Herald. It's gonna be spotted by Infernal Wolves, and this might be the opportunity for this Aatrox, but he's gonna get binded up. He's going in, but I don't think he has enough HP right now. But the Q3 is massive. He's gonna be able to flash out, and here comes the Shyvana. He's wreaking havoc in the back line. He's able to just continue to go, but the Akali's gonna dash out, and now they're focusing onto this Garen, and Garen's gonna fall. But now everyone turns their focus onto this Senna. Senna is just not any match for the Infernal Wolves in this case, and this is what I mean by the Aatrox being able to assist his team and bring that early game pressure that he was able to secure and get his team ahead. Not only did they have a beautiful 3-for-0, they also were able to secure the Herald, and this Aatrox is now sitting at 5-1 with a what is that,
Dominant
a
gold lead.
3K gold lead?
It's like a 1,400 gold lead over the nearest, but 3K over the top laner. It's a bit brutal right
Ooh.
now. I mean, kind of though, getting a kill, that's actually pretty sick. And yeah, I mean, Spoolward is going to be quite the issue there on the side lane. Just going to be able to chop up all of these towers. I'm not entirely sure who ended up getting the Eye of the Rift Herald. I'd assume it'd be Bacon, just to maybe bring some pressure around this next, you know, dragon fight, which is going to be in around a minute, or at least is when it spawns. And if they can get some lane pressure into the bot, into the mid lane, but I mean, I do really kind of have to watch out. Thrasher and Pot of Greed are just sitting and waiting for you. But I mean, fights happening across the map. Haiduk getting Spoobert a little bit chunked down, but you mean you can't let this Aatrox get any hit. The healing is going to be a bit too much. First tower is going to go down. That's just more gold in the pocket of the Aatrox. But I mean, really, we got to look at what happens around this dragon.
Yeah, this next dragon is going to be very important. But hold on, okay, he's going to be able to get the pullback now. He's looking for the Q. No, the Q's reset. He gets the Q2, and he's going to be able to secure that solo kill onto Akali. But now all of Funky Fresh Suns is posturing around this third Drake. They want to secure this Mountain Drake. Not the Mountain Drake one doesn't only just help their team, but putting yourself on soul point at 17, 18 minutes into the game is absolutely phenomenal. So I really want to see them be able to take down this Herald so it doesn't crash, which is what I think they're going to be able to do. They do secure that, and now they need to go as a team. And look, now the Aatrox already in the front line. He's huge Q3, the massive Infernal Wolves is able to run down all the Funky Fresh Suns. They're not going to be able to get away from this. The Katarina is just dashing everywhere on this map, and that's going to be a two for three. But now that Shyvana's in, Kai Duck trying to disrupt this back line, but he's not going to be able to do too much. The Spender Wind's going to be able to do a little bit to these minions, but this tower is going to end up going down, and that was a 3 for 2 in favor of Infernal Wolves. But are they going to look for the next tower, or are they going to try? Oh no, the Shyvana's already securing the dragon, so now they're going to be looking to secure this tier 2 mid and really crack open the jungle, all of the jungle from Funky Fresh Suns.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic play. It was kind of unfortunate that Funky Fresh Suns decided to walk into that brush not having any vision on it and knowing that they were on Dragon, but like, it's a little bit of a shame, and here we have it again. You can't trust anything. Your mid tower's gone. That's just going to be a free reign for Spoobert. Exactly what happened last time. I mean, it's like deja vu for some of these players. And Spoobert, just a unit now. I mean, unkillable by anybody on the side of Funky Fresh Suns. Nobody can tank. I mean, no one can kill tanks that fast. I mean, maybe the Viego. Maybe.
I have to ask, was that a replay? Because all three Q procs hit and just annihilated. They just got annihilated. It's like you said, it's just on constant repeat. This Aatrox is just a menace, and he is literally putting all of Infernal Wolves on his back right now to just continue bringing the pressure where it needs to be and get them ahead.
I mean, you would imagine one Oblivion Orb would maybe just not do enough heal reduction against this 8-1 Aatrox, but I think that one Oblivion Orb is doing its best. And that's kind of the difference between me and us.
No, so my fault. So I was actually going to say this earlier before we had a little scrimmage going on. I wanted to see the Swain build the Oblivion Orb, but I also want to see Garen build Thornmail. And that's really all the heal cut that you're going to need on the team, because the ultimate coming out from the Swain is going to be able to just use the Oblivion Orb on everybody in the team fight. But Garen being spin to win, he's going to be in the middle of the team fight as well. And because of that, he's going to be able to soak up some of this damage and apply these grievous wounds to everybody on the side of Infernal Wolves, and that can really help this heal cut coming out from the Aatrox. But the Katarina's going to be able to dash away. He all comes out of Thrasher. Now they're trying to slow him down, and they are going to be able to secure that kill onto the Katarina. And I believe they're going to be able to secure, and they're also going to be able to get this tier 1 tower in the bot lane. But because of that, all of Infernal Wolves turn their attention to the Baron, a beautiful 20-minute Baron, and will Funky Fresh Suns be able to do anything about it?
I don't even think they suspect it. I mean, no one's looking for it. I mean, it's just gonna go down. They're gonna get this. They're gonna be able to back. This is absolutely perfect. A great call from Infernal Wolves. It's just not looking super great right now for Funky Fresh Suns. Those first couple of minutes looking real nice right now, I'm sure, in the back of their minds, but I mean, there's still a lot of game to play. It's only a 5,000 gold lead, and I think all of it is on that top laner of Spoobert. So, I mean, really on the bright side, all you have to do is kill one person, and then the team kind of crumbles.
You are right. But if this Swain can stay alive long enough, and if this Swain holds on to exhaust, specifically for the Aatrox, I think that these team fights can really go heavily in favor of Funky Fresh Suns. But they need to be able to save these key cooldowns. But the support trying his best to do as much damage as he can to a tanky Garen, but not too much is going to come out of that. Meanwhile, you see Funky Fresh Suns trying to force down this mid tower if they can, but they're going to back off. They don't have a big enough wave. But Katarina's still doing the same thing. He's trying to step up, but now he's going to ult, but it's not going to do anything to it. But I don't think he's going to win that 1v1. Now, you see the Aatrox jumping in. He's going to be they're able to secure the first kill. This Katarina's still alive somehow, but I don't think it's going to be for very long. There it is. and now they're going to be able to secure this tier 2 mid tower, and they're going to be looking to crack open this base at 22 minutes.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal here for Funky Fresh Suns. You need that Garen to back. You need, you know, some sort of tank to be able to make something happen, or at least help them get into the fight and make it happen. And again, we're now popping the, I mean, I'm just gonna say the stopwatch because, but
That's
you
what it
know,
used
it
to
does
be.
go. Yeah, it's what everyone knows it as, but it's just not gonna be enough. It does keep you alive at least for the time being. Kaidog does take out the mid laner on that Katarina, but I mean, I don't think this fight's going to extend for any longer, not unless Spoobert has something to say about it. Wanting to engage, the Sentinel does come through. They're forcing this team back, but a TP is going to come back in from Syndra. That's going to do a lot of damage. This jungler does go down, but this fight keeps going on. Oh, man.
Aatrox
Everyone,
is just so
yeah.
strong. He's able to just continue to land these Qs. He got that beautiful double kill with a Q3 after the pushback coming from the Shyvana, and he's just. I don't think the Oblivion Orb is going to do anything, or this Executioner is going to do anything either. I think at this point the Aatrox is just way too strong that they should back off, look to reset,
Grab
spend their
that,
gold.
grab that dragon. I mean, that dragon is theirs. I mean, another Mountain Drake. Just stacking some Mountain Drakes on top of this Aatrox just to make it even more difficult to kill is
Oh
gonna
yeah.
absolutely be brutal. I mean, Funky Fresh Suns is getting absolutely outscaled right now, and now that their mid lane is open, their inhibitor went down, it's gonna be harder to navigate around the map. At least it isn't a side lane, so you don't constantly have to send someone so far away, but it's still a constant pressure in the middle of the map. It's gonna be super brutal for them to deal with.
Yeah, so what I want to see out of Infernal Wolves is I want to see them stack a four man either on top or bottom and send the Aatrox to the other side of the map, especially when his TP is up. I think this is the best way for them to utilize their push. But when it comes to the side of Funky Fresh Suns, I think that they need to just stay stacked as a team and look for any picks. Anything other than the Aatrox. They need to look for picks. That's what's gonna get them back in this game. That's what's gonna start to turn the tides back into their favor and be able to slowly claw back into this game. Even though there's two Mountain Drakes on the side of Infernal Wolves, they still can overcome this, but they need to allow the Aatrox to push. Just give the Garen the 1v1 with the Aatrox and have him clear wave clear and allow the rest of the team to just try and find a pick.
Yeah, I mean, and you would like to see that happen, and we're kind of seeing that, you know, maybe a little bit in this fight that could possibly break out here. But I mean, Viego's still on the bot side. That's another member. You're still going to be outnumbered if you're Funky Fresh Suns. The Senna ult does come through, and that's, you know, it might help them there. But this top lane is going to be going down, and the Senna just got absolutely deleted from the map. A 1v2 is going through here now for the Aatrox, looking for that other kill. Thrasher, you're just that next target, the Q1, Q2, and just absolutely deleted. A fight on two fronts, and you're losing both of them. That's not quite what you want to see happen, as they're just going to be taking this base, and I mean, it's 25 minutes into the game, almost 26, and it's just looking like it's over. And these Nexus towers end up going down. I mean, it's only a matter of time, right? Only a matter of minutes.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. The Aatrox is going to continue to push, but they have the pushing power, especially with these super minions. But they're going to try to jump in. The Akali's trying to get something done, but I don't think much is going to happen. Ninja is going to go down, unfortunately, but both Nexus towers fall, and now everyone's turning their attention onto the Nexus. And here comes the TP out of the Aatrox. This is as good as done. The Aatrox is going to come in. They're going to focus the Nexus, and that's going to be game number one, fellas. Going in favor of Infernal Wolves. That was a beautiful game.
Yeah, extremely well played, especially out there from Spoobert. That's exactly what you need to see from that top laner, just single-handedly carrying this game for this team, for Infernal Wolves. Extremely well played. I mean, there's really not much else there to say. I mean, Funky Fresh Suns did have a pretty strong, you know, first like 10 minutes of the game, but then it just got completely overran by that top laner.
Yeah, that island really went in favor of this Aatrox into the Akali. I was actually surprised that the Akali went up top, but I understood the reasoning of the switch because the Akali could try and dash out of these these pullbacks coming from the Aatrox, but the Aatrox just being able to land these pivotal points on his Qs every single time. He just was unable. He was unable to move. It's like he was CC'd the whole entire time, and Spoobert literally carried this game. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in game number 2. If they're going to ban it or they're going to let it go through again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of Funky Fresh Suns versus Infernal Wolves. We had a beautiful game number 1 coming out from Infernal Wolves, absolutely stomping the top lane. But I want to see if Funky Fresh Suns bringing in back their star player is going to be able to reverse this and bring this into a nice one to one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. And really, let's just get right into the draft and see which these teams are playing. And I think it is important to know while this draft is, happening that Funky Fresh Suns, everyone was kind of moved around that last game. And I'm pretty sure that I did, get word a little bit earlier that Subro would be back into this game. So everyone should be in their more comfortable-ish roles. But immediately to kick us off is just going to be Funky Fresh Suns bringing out the brand.
This is a beautiful pick because he's not only and it's a beautiful flex. I absolutely love this B1 pick. Brand is disgustingly strong in the jungle, but he's also disgustingly strong in the mid lane if you know how to pilot him correctly. And as a support player with these mage item upgrades, can absolutely run down a bot lane if left uncontested, and he's able to land these W's. So it's a beautiful B1 pick coming out of Funky Fresh Suns.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going to see a response here with the Aphelios and the Thresh should just be the two to complete our bot lane. And in Aphelios, I'm kind of interested because I've not seen a lot of Aphelios gameplay from, just whether it be in ranked or in competitive play or of any region. So I'm excited to see just how that goes through.
So Aphelios Thresh is a iconic duo. It's kind of like seeing Kaiser Nautilus or Lucian Braum back in the day. It's one of those iconic duos in the bot lane. But Aphelios has that nickname of 200-year champ for a reason. So if he's able to pilot this Aphelios, get the farm that he needs, and be able to get a few of these items online, he's going to be unstoppable in the later stages of the game. But being able to get to that point, it's going to take a lot of work, and this Thresh is going to have a lot on his plate to be able to protect him, especially coming out from the Xin Zhao and the Zyra coming out from Funky Fresh Suns.
Yeah, but I mean, we're getting deeper into this draft, having this Xin Zhao and this Graves come through is interesting because I do think we're going to see more where this brand goes. I mean, Zyra and Brand both incredibly strong to the jungle right now. It's a lot of AP, but I mean, I still have no idea. And the bans that come through, mainly focusing the bot lane for our Infernal Wolves and focusing the bot lane for Funky Fresh Suns. Well, Funky Fresh Suns deciding just to, split the bans, make sure Syndra can't go through for Syndra, and make sure that Renekton cannot go through for Spoobert, who absolutely destroyed that last game. But a Nico to go through, most definitely going to be around that mid lane. And what is the matchup that Funky Fresh Suns would like to play into it?
So I'm actually very curious about why they decided to pick the Graves. I guess maybe it's a comfort pick for Infernal Wolves, this Graves for an R3. But personally, without Syndra being banned in the first three bans, it might have been, depending on if Anna Gamer Girl is a Syndra player or not. I think the Syndra R3 would have been nice. Then you could still get the bans that you needed and still get a comfort pick into this jungle, being that you were going to save this last pick for Spoobert in the top lane. But coming out on the side of Funky Fresh Suns, you get the Anivia and the Yone. So we're going to assume the Anivia is in the mid lane and the Yone's in the top lane. Now, this could change, but we're going to assume that the Anivia's in the mid lane, the Yone's in the top lane. But then that's going to give us a double mage bot lane with the Brand ADC. And I completely forgot about this. So Brand being ADC is actually extremely strong, and that's going to be beautiful for Funky Fresh Suns. But then now, Infernal Wolves bringing out this Jax. Hubert has clearly shown that he can deal with these 1v1 matchups, and if he can get online and be able to run down these side lanes and bring the pressure to him, the rest of Infernal Wolves just gotta play together, and they'll end the game 4v4 or 4v3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually incredibly excited to see how Funky Fresh Sounds play this because they have a lot of AP, which is kind of concerning because that Jax, can definitely itemize very well into that. But I mean, if you do that, you run into a little bit of an issue against that Yone, and that's kind of scary. A Yone top, you don't want to itemize too early into, just making sure you can't die to any of the people on the bot side of the map. But I mean, then you're just kind of gonna get ran over by Supro. But we are gonna see Supro up there in the top lane playing that Yone and Revenger into the mid lane. And Anna Gamer Girl back in Pot of Greed back into those bot lane positions. And I mean, I just really have no idea how this game is is gonna go.
So what I want to bring to everyone's attention is we saw the Thresh in the lobby, but it was actually a Renata. So this Renata coming through for the Aphelios as a support is I think is very good, especially into this Yone and Zinzao. If they try to dive, that's their really only dive threat. So if they're able to press that dive away from the Aphelios and away from the Nico, allowing them to be able to just keep everyone at distance and auto attack the way they need to auto attack. They can keep everybody grouped up, and that's going to be beautiful for the Graves. It's going to be beautiful for the Counter Strike coming out of the Jacks, and it's just going to be all around great, especially for the ultimate coming out of Nico. So I'm curious to see how this Renata is going to play a part, but I think it's a beautiful pick into the side of Funky Fresh Suns.
Yeah, I'm extremely intrigued just to see how where this goes, especially this bot matchup. Playing this brand, this Syra, is going to be incredibly intriguing. And you see Spoober already getting out with those pick damage early into the game, and just, I mean, all my eyes, I just can't stop getting over this bot matchup. This brand, this Zyra into this Aphelios Renata. I feel like this could absolutely go incredibly well here for Funky Fresh Suns, and a gank immediately on this level 1. The flash is going to be burnt, but the kill is not going to go down. I mean, I think are gonna have to try and take that, but Ignite to go through, and the kill is for sure gonna happen there. Pot of Greed to pick that one up with the Ignite, and I mean, if you're jealous on the Aphelios, you're gonna be really hurting for that one. Your CS down, your Flash down, your Death down. That's gonna absolutely be brutal here.
Oof, that was tough to watch. He burned his cleanse too fast, and then the ignite came out afterwards. He thought the ignite came out first, and that's just that's heartbreaking. And I know that's got to burn his mental, but he if he's able to just continue to do his farming and do what he needs to do on this Aphelios, he's not out of the game yet. So all he needs to do is just focus, readjust himself, and he'll be able to do what he needs to do. This Nico being able to just poke out this Anivia as best as possible. For those who don't know, the Nico E that comes through minions actually roots you longer than it does just landing by itself. So because of that, he's going to be able to land these nice Qs, and these Qs are going to come through, and he's going to be able to get at least two procs from the Q onto this Anivia. And if he's able to burn the egg, it's going to be that's going to be a phenomenal win for him overall. But going back to this bot lane, but hold on, we see the Zinzao jumping onto the Nico, but the wall is gonna come through blocking his own teammate. I think Zinzao would have been able to get that kill if that wall didn't come through, unfortunately. But back to this bot lane specifically, the Renata and the Aphelios, all they need to do is just play safe. That's all they need to do. The kill pressure is gonna come through from the Zyra and the Brand, and as long as they can stay away and healthy, then they'll be fine in this matchup.
Yeah, but I mean, just trying to cause some problems here is the Graves and Thrasher. You did gank early. This Graves knows you're a little bit weak, but I don't entirely sure Bacon is ready for this. Thrasher just continuing to try to get the kill, but Sin just trying to join the fight. Maybe you overstepped your bounds, but the Goku is not going to make it there. And absolutely going to be thanking your life for that one. Trying to get back into farm, not wanting to overstep. But Supro, what are you going to make happen? You're going to make that kill happen. Bacon dropping 2 kills now for Funky Fresh Suns as... Wait, that Jin Zhao lost the 1v1 to the Gromp? I... Interesting.
Oh, I'm not even sure. I didn't
I,
even see him go down. It
I,
might have been he might have.
It must have been the Gromp kill.
Oof.
That is
Yeah,
rough.
we're getting from production. We are seeing that it was in fact the Gromp that killed the Zinzao in the jungle. That is very unfortunate. The fact that he was able to get out, but I don't know if that gave the kill over to the Graves or not. Ooh, that's a nice counter strike coming in. He's going to be able to get a nice little stun. This bot lane's to continue to do what they're doing, just trying to poke him underneath the tower. But Spoober, all he needs to do right now is just continue to do what he did last game and farm underneath his tower until he gets these item spikes. He has exceptionally good wave management. So if as long as he's able to play safe and knows that he's playing weak side for the majority of this match, then he should be able to beat out this Yone late in the later stages of the game, especially after he completes that Triforce.
Yeah, I mean, this top lane is going quite well. We have seen Yone a little bit more into the top lane, and you can see why. Supro just causing such a big issue. I mean, Swoober not being, being tested quite a bit more. Are testing Spoober quite a bit more than they were last game, but the ult is going to go through. It does actually, I'm pretty sure, hit to Spoober, and the kill is not going to go to your favor, Supro. Spoober picks up the first one to the top lane in the 1v1 matchup, and that is going to be scary. We saw what they could make happen last game, and we really, if you're a Funky Fresh Suns fan, you are not going to want to see the same thing happen yet again.
Yeah, that was massive for the side of Infernal Wolves. He was able to secure that 1v1, that Fate Seal he was trying to use to get to safety, but Spoobert knew he was going to use it and he jumped in front of him. So when his Fate Seal came through, he didn't move anywhere and Spoobert just whacked him on the head with that light pole until lights out.
Sure is, but I mean, just now, Pot of Greed, you got to be a little bit careful. You're only a lowly support while your brand is still walking up to the lane. You need to be a little bit careful, but yeah, I mean, this bot lane has just actually been probably arguably one of the more chill parts of just the map so far. Top has been pretty crazy, jungle's been happening. Mid we haven't seen too much as both these champs are still just, opting just to farm a little bit. We see Graves on an invade into that top side jungle. It doesn't look like anything is up, so they're not really going to get too much value. Gromp just got up, but I think that's going to happen, but you got to watch out. And if you might be in a little bit of a hurt. This Graves could look for something. That Bush is warded, but Spoobert is just still getting active there into the top lane, and that's just going to be brutal. If this Yone gets down on farm, you're going to be kind of rough into the rest of the team.
Sup Bro does not have TP. He's gonna lose not just plates, but he's gonna lose all this farm and XP. And the XP is the big part in this right now because the Yone being able to get the XP is gonna be able to allow him to have these stronger ultimates in these team fights. But Spoober is just playing this beautifully, and now Bacon is just able to just throw Thrasher to the Wolves, and he's just gonna take that mean shotgun to the face. And now Spoober's trying to jump in. He's gonna have a counter strike. Not too much else is going to come out of that, but now this brand pass is going to come through, and I think the burn might end up getting the kill onto this Renata, but it doesn't seem so. They nice pop blossom coming through, but a Fate Seal is going to follow. Subro's following. Now the counter strike's coming in. Is he going to be able to jump? He is going to be able to land that jump. He's going to land that stun, and Spoober's going to be able to get out with another kill going in his favor, and everyone leaving with blinking health bars.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal. Bacon not going to be losing the 1v1 to the Gromp, unlike the jungle counterpart. But I mean, here we are deeper into this game. This bot lane has, again, really not been challenged. It's very even down there, but top Inferno Wolves gaining a massive lead there. Jungle getting a massive lead. And mid is slowly, I mean, it's also pretty even, but an assist on both of them making something happen. As you can see on this gold lead, almost double the amount of gold Spoobert has over Subro, so that is going to be absolutely brutal.
Yeah, at this point, it's just a repeat of game number one. Feed Spoobert and let him carry. It's one of those things. But now the Renata's gonna get seen by Thrasher. The Q's gonna land. He's gonna jump on in, but can he get the knockup? I don't think too much is gonna come out of this. He's gonna have to run away because the Aphelios is gonna be a lot stronger than he thinks. Especially even though the fact that he only has these Berserker Greaves, but Spoobert right now is just snowballing like he was last game, and as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, he's gonna be perfectly fine in this game again.
Yeah, already having Triforce in this matchup is going to absolutely be brutal right now for this Yone. And you can see the Yone is struggling, right? Because, you know, you need to find farm somewhere, but, like, I mean, challenging Spoober into this lane without playing incredibly safe, you're screwed. And just look how far Spoober is comfortable jumping up on the Jack, or just how far into the lane. I mean, you're not safe there, but you don't care. You're so strong. There's just no shot. There's no world where this Yone kills you. But down here in this bot lane, if you are jealous, getting a little bit of work done, but it doesn't seem it's going to be enough. The kill does go down. I don't know if that Renata Halt hits, but it might have on Anna Gamer Girl. But Patagree just not going to end this quite yet. It does seem Majuka is coming up. This Nico wanting to have the play, but a great flash to get out of that one.
Ooh, a Fate Seal's going to be coming through, but now Spooper's in the 2v1. He's going to secure that first kill. But oh my lord, that double kill
No.
coming out from the Graves with a massive ult. And Spooper being able to get that counterplay on the top side. This is just a Spooper bacon show.
I mean, it really is, right? You can see the bot lane trying to make a play. I think they know that something needs to happen right now for Funky Fresh Suns to even have a chance to compete into this game, and maybe it's, you know, getting fed on this Brandon, on this Zyra, but it doesn't seem that they're doing enough, and we just see Bacon come down and cause absolute ruckus there, getting those 2 kills. It's not looking super great. On the bright side, they do have this first dragon that came up. The second one's going to happen right now. We see Bacon positioning in such a good play just to go and do that. The Aphelios seems that they are happy to go down there. So, I mean, it's just something they do need to care about. And this Jax is absolutely performing so well. There's no way you get one and get out of there, is there? But I guess there is. Another kill goes through. The Jax gets an assist. The Nico picks up a kill, and just everything is going right now for Spoober in this top lane. It's
Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Spoober is just playing like a god today. Everything is going in his favor. He's doing what he needs to do. He's drawing that pressure. And then on top of that, Syndra was able to get that TP that was able to protect him because just that TP alone was just enough to make Subbro back off a little bit. And because of that, they were able to secure the one kill and then get out unscathed.
yeah, incredibly well played here. I mean, it's only like a 4.5K gold lead, so I mean, it's not insurmountable for Funky Fresh Suns. This mid turret's going down. They're getting some plates. Exactly what you need to see. Spoobert having their eyes on a new target. But I mean, hey, it's like they might have gotten some kills off that. Yeah, they have 6 scrubs, but it does seem Funky Fresh Suns might get the
Oh,
dragon, and Spoober might have
Spoober.
overstepped.
He tried, but he's going to be able to get out of this alive. He's going to have to just back off, and now the Berserk comes through, and I think that's going to be enough. Bacon's going to be able to secure that kill on the Thrasher, and now they're just going to try and run him down. The flash comes through, and he's just taking these shells to the face, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Spoober coming back in lands a massive two-man stun, and then he's able to get 2 kills in the bot lane
The
for his
shutdown right
death.
under the support. Oh god. That is not what you want to see. The massive shutdown Spoober had just went straight onto that Zyra. So now, I mean, they have a lot of gold, but I mean, it's not going to be super useful. This dragon is going to go down to the Inferno Wolves as well. Top tower might go down to Yone, but it's not going to be the first, so you're not going to get that extra gold. But also, you don't deal any damage to it. This wave is definitely going to die yet again before. And, I mean, it's so tough, right? Funky Fresh Suns probably doing the right play trying to kill Spoobert there, but it's just, this Jax is so fed. They're just such a juggernaut that they just kind of ward jumped out of there, I think.
Yeah, the fact that all the gold right now on Infernal Wolves is basically all on this Jackson Graves. They if they stay in tandem and just have anyone, whether it's the Nico or the Renata with them, they basically can 3v5 at this point in the game right now. Uh, Disgustingly strong. They can invade if they want to. Basically, all of the jungle, no matter where they go, is gifted to them at the moment. And Funky Fresh Suns just needs to find a way to stop the bleeding and secure as much farm as possible and just not giving over kills. If they can get some of these items onto the Brand and Zyra, I really think that they might be able to do something in a choke point Like if they can lead Infernal Wolves to a choke point, they might actually be able to do something and just annihilate them with the Brand ult, Zyra ult, things like that. Yone Fate Seal. They have the Wombo combo ability, but they need to be able to lure them.
I mean, they definitely do, but I mean, it's gonna be so difficult. Maybe they can try baiting a neutral objective like a dragon in this up and coming fight, but I'm not entirely sure. It does seem that a team fight is gonna break out here. Actually, maybe not. I mean, they might try to contest it, but there's just no good way getting into
Oh,
this.
a
That's a
massive
great
pop
pop
blossom coming
blossom.
through. And then the Berserk coming through. Now everyone else is following. The Fate Seal came through. Now the Jax TPD's in the backline. He's wreaking havoc. This Thrasher is trying to do the best that he can, but Spoober is just on the backside. He's going to be able to jump. He's going to be able to get these kills. And now the Nico's going to be able to secure that kill onto the Yone. And that was just massive. Now here comes Spoober. Again, he's going to have the counter-strike, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Anivia, he's strong, but he's not strong enough. Spoober's going to jump back in. He's going to get this egg. And once he has the egg, that's game over for this Anivia. There's nothing he can do about it. And that was a beautiful play coming out from the side of the Infernal Wolves.
Yeah, the res did go through, the egg did patch, but it's just not going to be enough. And we saw, right? Funky Fresh Suns, I mean, you had a great first 2 kills there of the fight onto the bot lane of Infernal Wolves, but it just was not enough. That bot lane really isn't doing anything right now for Infernal Wolves. It's entirely just Bacon, Spoober, and Sinja. That are the people that are just doing all the damage to your team, and they really had nothing else in the tank after that happened, and this game is looking harder and harder now for Funky Fresh Suns as the minutes tick by, as the team fights keep happening, and the record's looking rough.
Yeah, and I wanna take note to this Aphelios. He's trying to build Collector. Even though Collector is extremely strong, I think Collector is one of those items you should only be building if you absolutely just thrash your bottom lane at the 2v2 mashup. If you're able to get that early lead, that's when I think you build the Collector. But as a first item, I think having the Kraken Slayer is just a little bit smarter. And then going into that crit build because and then playing around his green gun is just phenomenal because everything else with this crit coming through, Aphelios is really strong when he has crit, but really he's banking on his ultimate being able to just do massive damage or holding it long enough in a team fight for his ultimate to basically just annihilate the whole entire team. But here we see Uber jumping in, Counter Strike comes through, he's gonna flash all, and Revenge is gonna go down to this Jax. And now I think this bottom tier tower is gonna fall down to Spoobert.
Yeah, it's rough. It's incredibly rough. Spoober doesn't really care, just walking around causing so many problems for the rest of this team. I mean, the neutral objectives are going to come up. That's a great kill there on If You Are Jealous, but just another one's going to come back immediately from Bacon just sitting in that bush. The pop blossom is going to go through, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage. Sinjo 1v2ing now. That kill does go through, does find both of them, and Spoober on the bot side. Just so much commotion happening across the map. This tower should just go down. I don't think Revenger can really do too much. Maybe both of you can stun Spoober under the tower, and the kill does go down. So kills across the map. The dragon's gonna come up, but I mean, all of this is just favoring Inferno Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. Infernal Wolves is just playing to their strengths, playing to their ability with these champions, and they know that all of their strength is coming around this Nico and Jax, as well as the Graves. The the kill coming onto the Aphelios, it's not that detrimental to them. It was almost like sacrificing a support in a team fight, so the rest of the team could get away. It really wasn't that detrimental, and the the Jax going down, unfortunately, in the bot lane is unfortunate, but I personally thought he was just going to focus that tower, and he opted to try to go for the kills underneath the tower, but he wasn't going to beat the tower, at least not pre 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was close. It was a very good try, but I mean, just too much damage happening right under the tower. Getting that aggro is definitely not gonna help you there, but still that bot lane is looking incredibly open for just whoever wants to, and Subreal, it's not looking great. You can try and leave, but I don't think this Jax really cares. Just gonna stun you in place, and in mid, another fight is happening, burning the stopwatch. And just like Hannah Gamer Girl, you can try all you might. You do actually end up living, but I mean, for what? Just to back and, try your best again, as this tower should just be able to get pushed and dropped, unless they would like to go for a Baron angle here.
I don't think the Baron is the smartest play at this moment. I think if they're going to try and do that, they need to try and get at least one or two more kills, or get them low enough to the point where they can actually turn to the Baron and burn it. I just I don't see I just don't see that the Baron being taken at this moment. They may wait just a little bit longer for it. They're going to get these resets off. I want to see like right now they have beautiful vision with these pink wards all through Funky Fresh jungle. I want to see them come back, place as much wards as they can, have the vision, because if they know that they're not in the bottom side or the top side of their jungle, they can rush the Baron uncontested completely because they know that they're not close enough.
Yeah,
Tower's gonna be taken, but the Fate Seal's gonna come through, but it's not gonna be enough. The Berserk wasn't gonna be able to come through in time, but now he's taking this Herald all the way down, but he's gonna go down, and now he has to flash underneath the tower. The rest of Infernal Wolves is gonna be looking to try and get Pot of Greed, but it looks like he's gonna try and execute if he can, and that's the smartest option. We're gonna see if he can get out without giving the kill over. Okay. He was able to get the he was able to execute and not give another kill over to this Jax.
yeah, and this is happening. Bacon's still causing quite the ruckus there in the jungle now. Funky Fresh Sun's needing, or not, yeah, Funky Fresh Sun's needing to, look a little bit more over there. And the Baron, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, they got that pick on the Pot of Greed, and unfortunately, that's just a lot of their containment on this Jax is within Pot of Greed, so it's the Baron should just go down. There really should be a contest. We see Anivi on that bot side. He sees Boober just causing us some issues in the mid lane, just trying to keep everyone off of the Baron, and it does go down. And that's just going to leave so much pushing power into the hands of Inferno Wolves. We see someone trying to find something, but a flash, and it goes down, but it's not going to be enough. Other than Bacon.
With the massive ult to the face.
Just always there at the right time. Just backing up Spoobert at every step of this game. And a minion clone, you're going in, and that's exactly what you need to see. The Storm Surge goes off after the Rocket Belt. Thrasher, what are you going to do? What are you going to make happen? And you're just going in. Everybody now is just falling to the hands of these two players at the top side of this map. Except now. Spooper does go down, Revenger, causing some issues as well. A triple kill now for this brand. Another kill to go down. It's almost going to be a team-wide. Bacon just getting out of that fight and not looking back. It was quite rough, but, I mean, hey, they made it work. They got some kills. They might have a chance to get back into this game. They got some gold in their pockets. Yeah, Bacon is still running around with a 700 gold bounty, but, I mean, it's something.
Yes, it is definitely something. They were able to get some of these shutdown golds, especially from the Jax. I believe the Nico had one too before that death. So some of these shutdown golds going over into the favor of Funky Fresh Suns, and I'm actually excited to see what's going to happen in the around this dragon that's going to be spawning, because both teams are going to be posturing for it. But I want to take note that this brand opted into going Zonia's and, excuse me because I know I'm gonna say it wrong, but Malevolence. I don't know how to say it properly, but that I don't know if that's the smartest thing. Even though it does proc on everything, I think that the burns coming through is a little bit better. But now we see a nice kill coming through onto the Renata, and this is a massive team kill coming over for Funky Fresh Suns, because the Renata not being there for the Berserk can really just allow Funky Fresh Suns to be able to secure this second dragon and kind of start to get their feet back underneath them.
Yeah, I mean, they did pick something up. They're getting some value, off of their team fight win. So that's exactly what you need to see. Does not seem that they've, given up hope. They're only 7k gold down. That's not too bad. And, they're trying their best. They're farming. They're getting themselves back into this game. It's it's something, but you're stepping up a bit too far, Revenger. I don't know how safe you're gonna be. I mean, you're alive for the time being, but I mean, Spoober doesn't really care. Just gonna chase you down to the end of the earth if needed.
Yeah, and seeing that Spoobert's building in, he has that Hexdrinker, which means he's building into Maul Mortius. That's going to be huge. Not only is he going to be able to get a shield against three AP champions on the side of Funky Fresh Suns, he's going to be able to stay alive and stay healthy in this split push or in these team fights because of just the Hex Drinker alone. But now he builds into the Hall Breaker, and I love the item change that came through on Hall Breaker because now you don't need to be isolated in order to have some of these resistances. He's going to be able to just absolutely jump into the middle of a team fight, and I don't think his health bar is really going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I completely agree. It's just, I mean, looking quite rough. They're kind of just waiting right now. They're letting Spoober push into those side lanes, maybe coming towards mid to fight, but it doesn't seem so. Just continuing to push out. And it seems that a lot of stagnation happening at this point into the game, just waiting for someone to engage, waiting for this wave to crash. But, I mean, there's just so much wave clear on the side of Funky Fresh Suns that it's going to be very difficult for them to find an angle. But other than that, I mean, Spoobert is underneath the tower there on that top side. It does go down, and you just walk away. What is that? You maybe have lost 20% of your HP? You have nothing to worry about. Nobody can challenge you. You are an absolute god on the Rift right now. I mean, so is Bacon, but Bacon does not have that kind of split pushing power. You got to stay around their jungle. You got to stay around and hang out with maybe that bot lane as we're seeing now. It's brutal here for Funky Fresh Suns.
So now we see all of Funky Fresh Suns trying to collapse onto this Jax, but I think he's going to be able to get out completely fine. Yeah, he is going to be able to get out. But what Spoobert's doing is phenomenal. He is seeing that the rest of his team is taking aggro or setting up for a siege in the mid lane. And while that's going on, he knows that he has the power to be able to 1v1 or 1v2 anyone that comes and sees him. So being able to take that top tier tower and be able to take the inhib only helps unlock the rest of the map. And with this Baron coming up in the next minute, that's going to be phenomenal. So if they can posture around this Baron, secure the Baron, and then go into a 4-1 split like they did in game number 1, I think they'll be able to close this out on the next Baron play.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It does seem that they're very just content, just being quite patient right now. They know the power that Spoober can hold. They really have no reason to like push anything. There's 30 seconds till Baron. It does seem that they're setting up for it. This Aphelios is going to be backing, but yet again, I mean, this Aphelios finally getting that second item online. Definitely like the weakest link of the team at the moment. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You just gotta not feed your life away 18 times, and you're doing your part though, as if you are jealous right now.
Yeah, no, he did exactly what he needed to do so far in this game. But now we see Spoopert that he does have TP. These wards are coming up, so he has the opportunity for a beautiful TP flank. All I want to see is this Renata not get called out before a team fight happens, and I think this will be heavily in the favor of Infernal Wolves. But Spoopert able to get the egg out of the Anivia, and then he's going to be able to get this solo bolo in the bot lane. Meanwhile, everyone else is trying to back, and Yoni's just trying to see what he can get away with by keeping the team at bay around this Baron.
And it doesn't seem like too much. Spoober gonna be able to find down that bot tower. Thrasher, they're quite weak, but the Zyra R does go out, and Na isn't really killed. The Ignite is still ticking, the burn is still ticking, but it's not going to be enough. Spoober's still alive, does eventually go down to Pot of Greed, but it took 3 members, actually 4 members. Now that Supro is there, and it's just going to be traded for the Baron. Their pushing power now is going to be elevated so much. Dragon's going to come up, but I mean, if you're FFS right now, you can't really challenge the Dragon, unfortunately. Yeah, that Jax is on a 37-second death timer, but you have way too many things. You have way too many holes in the base, too many holes in the plans right now to even think about that.
Yeah, and now with everyone posturing around this dragon to be able to get on soul point, hold on, the affiliate's gonna get caught out. The fate seal is massive, but it's not gonna be enough. Or is it? It's enough to get the kill. That W coming through from the Renata is not gonna do anything for him, unfortunately. But this isn't the end of the world because the Jax is going to be up in 5 seconds, and he can TP right into the middle of this pit, and he'll be there for his team. They just need to hold out, and here comes the TP. These battle lines are getting set. Yeah, I'm waiting for this Anivia ult. That's going to be a beautiful, or the beautiful Berserk coming through with a Pop Blossom is going to be able to secure 2, but then now Spoober is just peeling for his team, and now he's going to jump into the back line. He's going to try and focus down this Brand. Brand's going to go golden. Now he's jumping onto Revenge. Revenge going to have to flash over the wall, but now Yone is trying to get this kill onto the Nico, but it's not going to be enough. And a triple kill coming through
Oh.
for the Graves, and that's going to be a nice ace
Whoa.
coming through for Infernal Wolves.
An ace after following the dragon kill. This Nico's on the top side. I do believe they TP to that top wave, and that's just going to be it. An absolute masterclass for Infernal Wolves. It doesn't matter who's up there. Spoobert is just going to absolutely stunt on you. And that's just absolutely brutal, but extremely well played to both these teams. I mean, especially Inferno Wolves, looking like they deserve to be on that top spot of the ladder.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful, played by both teams. But Infernal Wolves really just playing to their strengths, and they were able to get that early lead and continue with that early lead, and that's what's going to separate them on this leaderboard, bringing them to a nice 5-1 and a nice little lead, and giving them a little bit of a leeway moving forward into these upcoming weeks against these other teams.
Yeah, I mean, looking dangerous. Looking extremely, extremely dangerous as Inferno Wolves. Not saying that Funky Fresh Suns, I mean, they looked pretty good. They just had some flaws. I mean, obviously playing with a sub game one and then switching up the roles is going to be pretty difficult, especially since you don't know the matchup extremely well after, you know, you have to switch all your positions around. But, I mean, well played, extremely, extremely, you know, talented players out there, and they absolutely showed up today. I know a lot of these players aren't in the positions they're most comfortable, but, I mean, they all looked extremely good.
Exactly, and I think both sides continue to play to the best of their ability, keep doing what they're doing, and we're going to see, depending on how everything goes for these game records, we may see a rematch between Funky Fresh Suns and Infernal Wolves, trying to see who can take home that title. And I want to see if Funky Fresh Suns can come back and reclaim glory against Infernal Wolves. But with that being said, that is everything for today's matchup. A nice 5-1 lead is going to be in the favor of Infernal Wolves, making Funky Fresh Suns into a 3-3 record. And we will be back for week number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Have a good night.